Ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, I'm Heavy.
And I'm Hammer.
And this is Heavy Hammer Bushcraft. Doing a little video about fire today.
Fire.
Everybody loves fire. Fire is good.
Man, a good fire is my morale booster.
I'm telling you, there's nothing better than going out in the woods, getting a little fire going, and just sitting down. It's such a primitive, primal thing just to sit in front of the fire.
It's caveman TV.
It is men TV. I watch fire.
Look at the flicker.
It's just great. It is so relaxing. It's so peaceful.
Absolutely.
It brings it's almost like a sense of completeness to a camping
Right.
trip.
Absolutely. Yeah. You can have all the niceties and finer things in life till you can get on that fire, and even if you're not cooking or doing anything, just sitting there, that crackle.
Oh yeah, yeah. Especially it starts to get dark out.
It's romantic.
It is. It really is. It can be. I mean, not like but it starts to get dark out. Especially you got the little glow of the fire going on. And you don't need a big, huge roaring bonfire.
No, I'm actually kind of anti-bonfire myself, but I grew up with Smokey.
Yeah,
and he didn't play no
Smokey
games.
don't play. Smokey
No,
don't play.
no,
Smokey coming to get
not.
you. You know what's bad when your anti-forest fire mascot is a grizzly that can speak. We don't got this anymore. It's too soft.
Yep. No, I think we'd have a better life if Smokey was just around in general.
Yeah, instead of being from Friday. Anyways.
Fire. All right, what are we going to cover? I'd like to do ferro rod.
All right, we'll do ferro rod. I definitely want to do solar.
Absolutely.
Solar is...
We're in the southeast. The sun throughout the summer, even the fall.
Without a lens, it'll cook you.
Yeah, no, the sun it's free. It's an absolute free fire.
Completely renewable resource.
Yep.
It's limitless. You got a decent lens that's 5x or better, they say. I've never tried less than a 5x.
Yeah, I haven't either.
But I think the one I carry is like 7 or 10 or something like that. So it's stupid quick, but it's this big around.
What about the one in your Hudson Bay tent?
The Hudson Bay tent. I want to cover that a little bit too. Anyways, but yeah, this is a Hudson Bay tobacco tent. It has a built-in lens right in the cover. There are supposed to be a 5x lens.
Okay.
And I have used it to do char cloth, and I've used it on a little bit of birch bark. And it does work. It does work. It's not as quick as my big one.
This is my normal go-to. That's where I have my Flint and steel and all that stuff.
Yeah, this is man, these are one of the best little fire kits. My lid's a little tight on mine. It likes to fight with me, so bear with me a second. There we go. I say it's got the solar lens in it already right in the lid. I keep steel striker for flint and steel. I've got a couple little pieces of flint in here, some birch bark, some char cloth. And up until recently, I had a piece of fat wood in there that was actually apparently much more questionable than I had originally thought. So that's gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, these are great little tins. It's pocket size. This is what I carry in my Nesmuk bullet pouch. This is my go-to. I can throw it over my hip and just go out on a quick scout, and I've still got fire with it.
And you're getting more than just one function out of it.
Exactly.
That's my favorite thing about it.
Exactly. And if you find dry tinder that's good and dry while you're out, you can put a little bit of it in here.
That's how I use mine. Dry tinder, my striker, and my stones.
And it's that big. I mean, it fits shirt pocket if I need to. So great little piece of kit to carry.
All right, what else?
Flint and steel. I would like to do a flint and steel. I've got it with me. I might as well do
Absolutely.
it. Do solar, do flint and steel, and you're going to do the ferro rod and the Surefire. Surefire cubes. Got to cover the Surefire cubes.
The regular everyday man's way of doing it.
I'm telling you, man, those things. You can ball up your newspaper and all this stuff and stuff it under your tent and everything else and light it, but.
Well, I'll tell you, and me and you have been in rain that it literally rained an hour and 20 minutes before everything is sopping wet, and be able to use a Surefire to dry out wood, to then dry out more wood, and finally get your fire going.
Get you to a point of a sustainable
really
fire.
Well.
And it does. It works phenomenally well. I mean, these are a brand placement thing. They're Duraflame fire cubes, right? Fire start cubes. They're cheap and they work.
And they're small.
Yeah, they are. This big. They're nothing.
So that way you can carry. I carry 3 with me just in case we happen to get into a rain. Or something
I always carry at least 2. I always carry at least 2. I figure, especially for an overnighter, I'll carry at least 2.
Yeah.
I've got 1 for at night, 1 in the morning, and I know I can get a fire going with that. It doesn't matter if it's just rained an hour ago or if it's actively raining. If I can get enough decently kind of dry material together, I can get a fire. And in the rain, you want a fire. You really want a fire.
Absolutely.
So at least something, because you get wet, hypothermia can set in quick.
It's a bad time,
Yeah.
and you're not enjoying yourself. That's the other thing.
No, absolutely not.
Wet is a bad day.
And let's face it, if you're going to cook food,
you gotta learn how to. You gotta learn fire first.
This ain't the military. We don't got heater packs here. We're cooking food on fire. So
Absolutely.
Definitely. But I mean, that's kind of what I want to cover in it. I think I'll just do a couple bird's nests and the flint and steel and the solar, and then you can do the ferro rod. little fat wood or something in the
Yeah,
ferro rod?
I'll end up doing some fat wood.
That'll work. That'll work.
Well, all right. Let's go ahead and get started, man.
All right. All right. What I got here is a magnifying lens for doing solar fires. Not a technique I recommend initially starting with unless you spent a whole lot of time as a kid burning ants with a magnifying glass. Probably not a thing anymore, but it used to be. Got a little piece of char cloth in my bird's nest here. This is material we just collected right here. Some people say they didn't realize you could do solar ignition with char cloth. I'm gonna do it right here. I'm not gonna start a whole big fire, but I'm gonna get the bird's nest lit. I just wanted to demonstrate it real quick so you can see how quick and easy it is with good Southwest Tennessee sun. The trick is getting everything lined up. As you can see, I've got smoke already. Which means solar.
That's that.
Just that quick.
All right, we're gonna do a little ferro rod here. Now the biggest problem with ferro rod is the argument of the techniques. Now this is my kindergarten and for sure way to make sure my sparks hit every time. I just put it right on my tinder. I can strike right on top of it. No problems whatsoever. Easy fire.
All right, I'm gonna do a quick demonstration of flint and steel. Flint and steel is probably one of the more difficult techniques for starting a fire. Definitely not a beginner's technique, but I want to demonstrate it anyways because a lot of people like to get into it. Got a piece of flint here in this hand, nice sharp edge on it, and I've got a piece of char cloth bundled up against the back side. Now the point is to strike your flint with your steel, and get a spark to land on your char cloth. Put your char cloth in your bird's nest, boom, fire. So hopefully I can do this reasonably quick, but it might take me a couple strikes. That was fake. It lied. I don't know if you can see it on camera. I got a little burn going on there right there in that corner. And don't panic and don't be in a hurry. You got time. Get your char cloth laid in your bird's nest. And just like with solar. Fire. Primitive as it gets. Right. These guys here I talked about briefly, I think in the last video anyways, about the kit, and I had a couple of them in that kit. These are fire start cubes. They're Duraflames, available at Walmart. This is what I carry for surefire. This guarantees me a fire pretty much no matter the conditions, no matter how questionable my tinder and my kindling is, this will get me a fire started. So I just want to demonstrate that with a Bic lighter. Not the best fire lay in the world right here. I just kind of threw something together just to demonstrate the fact of how actually decent these things are. We're going to take this, slide it right in here, about like so. Get the fire going on it. Let it catch. And that sucker should take right off here in just a second. She's catching. Wood is not wonderfully dry. It just rained here a couple days ago. And it's starting. And it'll burn for a little bit. Probably longer than we want to sit here and record and make you all watch it anyway. So that's why I say if you're just starting out, carry something like this, because this guarantees you a fire. You will be able to get a fire started. And there ain't nothing worse than going out your first time or any time and not being able to get a fire going. Well, that's what we got. Kind of hope you enjoyed it.
I guess next thing would be getting out and practicing it. Get
Absolutely.
out, whatever fire method you choose, two, whatever it is. Lighter, obviously, you need to be able to be very proficient with the lighter, and then choose something else, and get as proficient as you can. Move on to the next thing.
I would say my personal, I guess, direction for it would be, if you're going to obviously start with a lighter, get familiar with starting a fire with a lighter, with newspaper, with the Surefire cubes, hell, with just tinder.
Yep, natural tinder.
You can light a bird's nest with a lighter. You can
Yep.
do it. And then progress to a ferro rod. Good thing about a ferro rod is while it throws sparks, much like Flint and steel does, they're hotter sparks,
Extremely.
but it'll show you how sparks interact with materials. So once you get that down, then you can progress to Flint and steel if you want. And solar ignition, get you a magnifying glass and practice.
Yep, it's easy peasy.
It's stupid simple, and you'll love it.
And it's fun. It's got solar just.
It's
I don't know,
neat.
it has a good level of
Yeah, it's
excitement
just
for
kind
me.
of, it's neat. I don't know what it is. But
And as you can tell earlier, it's fast.
it is quick, fast, in a hurry, now. You'll notice we didn't cover friction fire. No hand drills, no bow drills. If I'm at a point in my life where I need to start a fire with friction,
We've had a bad day.
I've had a seriously
We've had
bad
a
day.
day.
I don't like bow drills for that specific reason, because if I'm down to a point where I'm starting a fire with friction, I probably don't have cordage
Yeah, I most
You
likely
know.
don't have a knife.
or an axe.
Yep.
I'm maybe down to just my EDC. I may have just a pocket knife, and if I need cordage, I've got bootlaces. But I'm not going to sacrifice the bootlace and be uncomfortable and have blisters for a 10-mile hike, so I can have a fire one night.
Yeah,
So if I did have to recommend a friction fire, it'd be hand drill.
yeah, I'd probably go hand drill myself.
But
which I've been working on some new different materials, and we might get to that a little later on.
And my other opinion on it is, friction fire tends to be more of a survival technique to me.
I agree with that.
And I'm not doing this about survival. I don't want this to be about survival, because survival's not fun.
No.
Survival sucks.
No, yeah, you go out 48 hours with no food and what's on your back, and
It's bad.
it can be you
uncomfortable.
can have good times. They can be great.
But you can also have some really, really
Real
bad
bad
times. So I don't want this to be about survival. This is about bushcraft. This is about having
Bushcraft and
fun,
camping.
getting out in the woods and learning your place in the woods, getting
And-
at peace with the silence in your own head.
Yep.
Because there's so little silence and there's so little time for self-reflection in the world today.
And nothing helps better than your natural habitat.
I'm telling you.
Again, that's where we're supposed to be, and you get out there, and even just the way that your organs process food. It's just everything. It comes
Everything's
together.
different.
It comes together.
It's a unique experience. I can't recommend it enough, even if you're just going out by yourself, just in your backyard. It's great. And like I said, there's so little chance for silence and peace and quiet in the world these days. You got to take advantage of it when you can.
Absolutely.
So-
Yeah, you'll finally have that chance to read that book that you've been putting off. Promise
Exactly.
you that. Well, anything else?
That's all I got.
Well, I guess we'll see you next time.
See you in the woods.